Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Sorry Mom podcast. Happy Thursday. I know last week I said that I hope everyone gets to enjoy something outdoor related for this nice weather, which I will also say this is probably the longest nice streak I've had living down in Kentucky without bad weather. We've gotten some really nice, beautiful days in a row. But I did get to go to the beach over the weekend. I went back to Michigan, stayed with an amazing friend of mine who just housed me and helped me with what I'm struggling through right now. But we're going to get through it. We're going to keep working through it. And it was just like a nice, relaxing time to be there and to just kind of disassociate from down here for a little bit. Thank you again to all of those who have been so supportive on my other platforms as well. And I will say, you guys, you know how people talk about like right and left brained, like you're either really good at numbers, math, science, or you're more of like the creative side. I think that's my brain, whatever that is, right or left, more the creative side, because I'm not a math or science person at all, and I hate dealing with numbers. However, this podcast has like changed that a little bit because on all the different creative platforms, Snapchat, YouTube, um, TikTok, they all have their own analytic data that you can follow to see how everything is performing. And I'm kind of like obsessed with that. Like learning where the views are coming from, how long people are watching the videos, new viewers versus reoccurring viewers. And so like I'm obsessed with tracking those now. And I've noticed that my YouTube has gained some attention from TikTok, which is the ultimate goal. Like that's what the TikTok and other platforms are for, is to draw attention to the podcast. But I wasn't prepared for it to draw some hate. Why are you guys coming for me with the hate? That was funny. There were a couple comments on the last YouTube video that I posted about like my side hustle and trying to make money. I deleted some of them because I was like, damn, we didn't need to be that harsh. But I did keep one up. I did keep one up that said, okay, Cinderella. And if that person is watching this video now, I want you to know that that comment was kind of iconic. You actually formed my new insult, honestly. Like, now when I see someone doing something that's either like dramatic or just way too over the top, I'm definitely now gonna start going like, okay, Cinderella. Like, but it's just funny because Cinderella, in the context of the video, when I'm talking about struggling and surviving to earn money, and then you put okay, Cinderella. Like, I don't know if you don't believe me. I would love to send you a screenshot of my bank account and my debt if that's what you need for me to prove I'm not Cinderella, unless you're comparing me to pre pumpkin ball gown magical fairy godmother Cinderella, in the sense that I live in an attic with rags, how Cinderella did, and talks to animals. Then yeah, I'm that Cinderella, I guess. But that was funny. That was funny. First first hate experience, and I'm not built for it, but it's whatever. That's why I deleted the other ones, but the Cinderella one, that was iconic. That was iconic. But like I said, thank you for the support across all other platforms. Also on my Snapchat and Instagram, I'm going to do like a mic test because those smaller mics might pick up better audio than this equipment that I'm using. But I don't know. I don't know. I want to test it out and see what you guys think. So I'm going to post a video on the podcast Snapchat and on the Instagram page and see like if you guys can tell a difference, if the this one to stick with is better or switching over to the new ones. You know, obviously where I'm at right now in my life financially, I can't afford the $800 podcast set that makes me sound fantastic. So there's only like a couple different variations right now of what I'm able to do to kind of control the audio in that sense. But if the other microphones work out better and you guys are like, yeah, I can hear you more clear, like this sounds better when I listen to it, yeah, I'll switch over to the other ones. It's just, those two are kind of like the only options right now. Um I think I'm kind of like I feel like calm before the storm is coming because there's like a big piece of news that if I don't get by EOD today or sometime tomorrow, I'm kind of fucked. So, next episode might be recorded from my parents' house in my room, but we're going to manifest now. We're going to manifest all positive good things to keep me down here in Kentucky. We're going to manifest that good news comes some point today or tomorrow and that everything will be fine because like I said, I would love nothing more than to stay down here. So we're just going to keep our fingers crossed and we're going to keep on hoping that everything works out. Another special announcement is not next episode, but that next week I will be going home. So the following episode, 2 episodes from now, I will have another extremely, extremely special guest on the podcast. That I'm so excited to bring them on. I got confirmation today, so that'll be another fun episode to tune into. So not next episode, but 2 from now. For today's episode, this is kind of like a weird topic for me to talk about, and I guess I can get into why it's well, I will be getting into why it's weird as well. But I called my mom a couple days ago at work, and her manager just happened to be in the room as well. Her manager is younger than my mom and is a grandma, and they talk about like all the time, like oh grandbabies, grandbabies. And when I answered the phone, she was like, "We want you to have a grandbaby. We don't care who it's with. We just want you to have a grandbaby." Like making jokes, laughing, and I know my mom is like extremely looking forward to being a grandma. And I'm an only child. I'm an only child, so I'm my parents' only hope at being grandparents. And it just kind of sparked like an idea because I knew I wanted to talk about this at some point, and it might come up even more than once. But I wanted to talk about my relationships or lack thereof. Kind of like my quote love life, but it's not really a love life, if that makes sense. So I guess like to start this off, starting off with like a fun fact is I have never been in a relationship unless you are counting like middle school. I was in 2 in middle school, and that's I guess I peaked then. I guess that was my peak. I guess that was it. But I I don't obviously count those. I was what, fucking 10. I don't know how old you are in middle school, but like no, none through high school and none through college. And I guess I just kind of wanted to explain that because I know even though my parents don't know about this podcast and they aren't going to listen, I know in the back of their mind they're probably like what the fuck is going on? It's just because like that's how that generation is. You date someone, you get married, you have a kid, you buy a house, you do this, you work at a job forever. I just unfortunately for my parents, I am not the stereotypical person in any way, shape, or form. I don't want to be at a job for 30 years. If I never own a home, if I just apartment hop for the rest of my life, I'm fucking fine with that. Like, I don't care. And the unfortunate news for my parents is that I don't necessarily want a kid, but I'll explain that in a second. Let me first start off by saying high school. High school, I like not only wasn't really looking for anything like that, I did not. I did not want a relationship in high school. Port Huron is a small town. I guess it's kind of debatable. We had 2 high schools, and I know a lot of places that don't. We had like 2 high schools, 3 middle schools, 5 elementary schools. I don't know what we had, but we're kind of like a smaller town. And I just think my anxiety, as I mentioned, every episode always gets the best of me, right? And I think I was so in my head about what are people going to think if I date this person? If I sleep with this person, is this person now going to spread it to the entire high school? And to me, high school was so different than college. But obviously it is. Obviously it is. I'm saying in terms of like a relationship. In high school, you are with those people 8 hours of the day every single day. You have classes with the same people every single day. So like if I did something relationship wise or anything like that and like a rumor started, I think it was in the back of my head that like that would destroy me. Like that I could not have a horrific relationship rumor going around in high school. And honestly, like looking back, I don't I like can't picture myself with anyone that I went to high school with. Like there you listen to those Taylor Swift songs, as I'm a huge Swiftie. You listen to like any type of artist like that that's talking about like, oh, their first love in high school, oh, their high school crush. Like even songs all the time today are mentioning high school crush. I don't think I had one. And I'm not saying that in a negative way about anyone who went to my high school. I'm saying that in terms of like preference. Like I don't know if there's someone who I was like, "Oh my god, I just wish that boy would reach back out to me now and see how I'm doing," or "Oh my god, I just that one sophomore year summer with this guy was just so amazing and I wish." I was vibing, but I also think like my energy towards that was just so negative that I didn't even leave a potential for opportunity for that to come along. Like that wasn't it's just never been a focus of mine. And I don't know it well, do I want to say this? I don't know if I want to say this. I am going to say it because it's my podcast and I don't fucking care who knows it or hears it. I didn't sleep with anyone until freshman year of college because this how nervous I was of rumors getting spread in high school. What if I slept with someone in high school and was so incredibly bad and that got like all around the school and now everyone has these like horrific sexual rumors about me? Honestly, God, you guys, I'm being so real right now. Like that was a fear of mine. I was like, I literally can't have that. And so I think it just became a thing, like I said, like I wasn't looking for it. My energy was not about it. And there was never an instance for anything to happen. I was never, if I was at like a high school party, I was, I was hanging out with my friends. Like I was just never looking for that type of connection. And I think it was the fear and anxiety that kind of played a role in that, as it always does in everything in my life. So going off to college, I think my mindset was, again, this is me being so real with you guys right now, and I don't need any more hate comments on this video, but I think I was just mentally like, I want to get it over with. I want my first time to be done and over with because I just want to now have that experience without being attached to someone just so I know what it's like. Okay, got it, done. I can move on and now maybe like look for something. So it was this guy in my biology class, coincidentally enough. We hung out a few times and he was my first. I think I hope it's common. I think it's common per usual, like your first experience, especially with someone that you are not trying to move further with. It was a bad experience. He was nice. I don't know. So I won't go into like the whole like scenario, I guess, of why it was bad, but it was just it was not a not a great experience. But like I said, I feel like that's common with everyone's. But it wasn't like the oh my god, like ha ha ha, da 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 da, da, we're gonna date forever. It was like okay, thanks, moving on. Didn't hang out with him again. It was a one and done. We hung out like a few times before, and then that happened. Then it was just like okay, now I know. It's what I came here to do. That's what I did. I'm moving on. But even throughout college, like it just there was again, my freshman year, the guy that I ended up hanging out with, that was me mentally being like, I just okay, that's it. I was never looking for someone to date. Like I was never sitting in class of marketing 101 and looking across the room and being like, "Oh my god, I am going to make that boy mine. He is so cute." No, ew. I was never at a college party like, "Oh, look at him standing there playing pong in the corner. What a handsome fella that guy is. I hope I get a moment alone with him at the party." It was just never like a thought for me. And I don't know if that comes from more anxiety or more like being just way too overly independent for my own good. And I can admit that. Like, I suck at asking for help. I suck at just, I don't know, basic things that is normal to ask for assistance for. And I don't. And I like to do everything myself, like to be by myself. And I think, like, the longer it went on, the more I got so comfortable just being alone, honestly. Like, the thought of, and here's what I mean by that. So, obviously in college I was on the apps, right? Mainly Tinder. We know what Tinder is used for. It's a one night situation kind of. It might have changed by now. I don't know what Tinder's like now, but um obviously in college that's what it's primarily used for. So that was my use for Tinder. Every once in a while when I was feeling a little crazy, hop on Tinder. And I will say, like, I've had, what was the right word for it? Like, situation ships, which I don't know. What's the difference between, like, a situationship and, like, someone you are just hooking up with for fun? Like, for it to be a situationship, do you guys have to do things like go out? You're not really, like, claiming you're together, but you go out and do things. Is that the difference between a situationship and someone you just kind of are continuously hooking up with? Because if that's the case, and I didn't even have situationships, I just had like a reoccurring victim. That's what we can call it. I had like a couple of those. I went on three, no, we'll say two. I went on two dates in college. And like the guys were nice. I don't know why I don't like other people. I'm being so real. Even with dating apps now, like I've tried Hinge, what's the Bumble. When I'm texting someone for like, or I guess messaging them on the app for like a day or two, all of a sudden I'm like, I actually hate this. And I don't know if it's because now in the dating app situation, I don't know if it's because I don't see them in person, and I don't know if their personality is just not coming through texting, because sometimes that happens. I have friends who like are a completely different person in person than they are texting. So that could be a hindrance, I guess, on like what I'm experiencing. Is I'm thinking this guy is like, "Oh my god, you're so boring, like we're not connecting." But he could be completely different in person. I just never give like people the chance, honestly. You have like 3 days to catch my attention texting, if that, and you might only get a couple replies in those 3 days. And then I forget and I move on. So, throughout college that was kind of just the vibe. I was so much more into going out with my group of friends, hanging out with a group of my friends, doing things independently throughout the day, taking care of my own shit. To me, it seemed so taxing to like have to now place someone else in my life in a high because a relationship's different than a friendship, obviously, right? It's like more involved. And I just don't think mentally I wanted that involvement because here's my other issue in the overall relationship category. I obvious well not obviously. Maybe you don't know. Well, I guess it kind of should be kind of obvious. Yes, I am a self-conscious person. Absolutely. I'm self-conscious. Do I want to be 20 pounds lighter? Hell yeah. Do I want to be able to do different things to make my face look better? Absolutely. Do I filter photos before I post on Instagram? 100%. Does it take me 5 days to post one TikTok because I'm so freaked out over how I look? Yes. I feel like a lot of girls experience self-conscious issues. A lot of males experience self-conscious issues. But I also can confidently say that that has never been a reason for me not being in a relationship. I have never been talking with a guy or seen a guy out and have been like, oh my God, he's too good for me, or oh my God, he'd never be with someone like me. Like, that's never been a, a thought. And again, that's not saying like, oh my God, I'm some cool fucking hot piece of shit walking around. No, it's the opposite. I know I'm not, but it's never been a reason for me not to date. I think my sole reason comes from the fact that my life has been a chaotic whirlwind since I was 15, 16 years old. And I think because I'm so mentally strained all the time, dealing with all this bullshit day after day, month after month, year after year, that, because I've talked about this with my therapist too. And I told her it's like hard for me to picture bringing someone else into my life as it is right now. It is hard for me to want to bring someone in when I can't even deal with my own shit, and now having to have you know what's going on in my life and making sure that you're okay. Like if I have a bad day, sometimes I just need to go home, lay on my couch and like reset the rest of the day. But if you're like in some serious committed relationship, then what if they want to come over? Like, no, I want to be by myself. Or what if they had a bad day? So now I want to make sure that they're okay. And then it's going to turn into me constantly putting them first because that's how I always am. I always like to put people before me. It's sometimes works negatively in my favor a lot of the times, but that's how it would work if I was in a relationship. I would constantly make sure they're okay, putting them first, making sure they're good, and I'd be neglecting myself. And everything that I'm going through right now cannot be like neglected. And I feel like I'm so focused on trying to get myself onto a stable ground in life that a relationship adds a whole other layer that I can't encounter right now. Like I just would not be able to, I don't know, I guess like invite that in right now. So it's just that I'm never looking and I'm never open for a relationship, but I try. If that's confusing enough, if that confuses you, it confuses me. And it's just, I also think I wouldn't say standards, but I have like certain boxes that need to be checked. We all do. We all have like a mental list of kind of like, okay, yeah, maybe you don't have this one, but you have these ones checked off. Da 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 da. I feel like because I'm so comfortable being independent that if someone doesn't check every box that I have, why would I waste my time? I could spend my whole life being single and never dating and never getting married, and that wouldn't phase me. And you may think, oh, well, you say that now, but in the future, da da da. Well, maybe in the future that does change. I don't know. But as of right now, I know I am confident that I could spend the rest of my life vibing, doing what I want, being me, and it doesn't negatively affect me, I guess, in certain ways not being in a relationship. Like I never am one of those people that's like, "Oh my god, another New Year's Eve alone." Or, "Oh my god, I hate Valentine's Day because I'm alone." Like I don't know. I'm very supportive of everyone else being in relationships. Love the relationships that my friends are in. Like it it's just not something that I prioritize. I'm like a certified third wheel. If you don't mind having a third wheel, I don't mind going out with a couple. Like I don't know. And it's my therapist will bring up like different things, but and she'll say like, your anxiety always makes you think negative. So she's like, you're doing the same thing with relationships. How do you know that being in a relationship is going to bring the value of your life down like you think it is versus this person could potentially help you? And I'm like, okay, but then you got to go through the trial and error of trying to figure out who's going to help me and who's not. Like, my luck, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, you're right. I'm going to give this guy a chance. And he fucking ends up wrecking my shit worse than I'm already in. And I think that's also like a fear that I'm dealing with. I did go on a date while I was down here in Kentucky, with someone who worked at the headquarters of the company I worked for. Let me tell you guys, I am a huge, obviously, in general, I've already gone over why I don't date, but in the workplace is like, should never happen, honestly. And I think because it was different buildings, because he was headquarters, I was like, you know what? It's not the same thing. Like, go on, give yourself a chance. It's different. I, this, this, per usual, this man is the epitome of why I'm like, yeah, nope, not for me. Not for me. And I wish I could get into the PG-13 slash R related scenarios that happened those couple times we hung out, that I was literally like, holy fucking shit. No. Let me just tell you one thing. He had me come over to his apartment, told me where to park, right? You Everywhere in these certain areas of Kentucky and Cincinnati, you have to pay to park. But he told me I didn't have to pay and that it was fine. After our night in, which was I can't even give it a 1 out of 10, which was a 0 out of 10, I left disgusted. And as I'm walking out, he's like, basically was like, yeah, I hope your car's still there because you weren't technically supposed to park there and they do tow. I remember being like, you're fucking kidding. I'm already pissed off from what I just experienced. And now you're telling me you basically just psyched me out to park there when I first got here, telling me I could. And then he told me, he was like, if it is towed, I can't help at all. Like, I won't be able to send you money or anything. I might be able to take you to where they towed it, but that's about it. And I was like, at this point, I could have put my hands around his neck and killed him because I was just over everything that had just happened. And I was walking out onto the sidewalk. I think from the moment I left his door to the moment I walked on the street and saw my license plate and that my car was still there, I did not breathe because I was like, I can't afford to go get my car if it was towed. And this man who just tricked me isn't going to help me at all get my car. Like, I was so fucking annoyed. And I feel like those are always the instances that happen. And again, you may be watching this and be like, well, Sarah, it's because you only are with the guy for one night. You have to be the guy. If I am on a date with a guy, like a first date, first experience, everything, and it's already shit, what makes you think staying with the guy and going on more dates and more experiences and having other nights like that is going to magically make him the best man in the world? It would be different if I had a first date first night experience, and this guy was like a nice gentleman. The car situation never happened. And if we got along and had like a good time, and I was like, oh my God, you know what? That was actually kind of fun. Yeah, that would lead to more. It just so happens that on these first encounters, sometimes the guy either like says something, brings something up. He was also trying to talk about like all these different health things, and you know that like blue, oh my God, what's it called? Some blue chemical that you like put in things is supposed to make you healthier, but debatable if it really does. He's trying to tell me like cures cancer, and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. So it was not a match to begin with, and they usually never are. And I'm just wait and I have had good texting conversations with some of these guys on these dating apps, but I like can't, like I don't want to meet you. And I don't know what that makes me. Does that make me dumb? Does that make me stupid? Does that make me just alone forever? Like I think I think for me what's going to happen is I'm going to be out somewhere some night, some way, and it's going to happen naturally. I think all these non-natural ways that I keep trying to set myself up with someone are just not working out, and then it becomes like discouraging. But then it's not discouraging because like do I even want it to work out? Because no, I don't want a relationship. I don't know. I don't know. It is so fucking weird. It is, and that's why I wanted to bring this up in this episode, because if you are anything like my parents or my family always wondering, where's the boyfriend? Where's the boyfriend? This is the 27th Christmas coming home with no boyfriend. This is your answer. The answer is I don't know. And the answer is I'm fine not knowing. And the answer is I'm fine being alone. I don't get it. I think, like I said, it's just going to be one of those situations that happens in the most random time, random place. And maybe I'll meet someone and it'll just be like, oh my God, like you are cool. You were nice. We have similar interests. Let's hang out again. And then something builds off of that. Maybe I'm just lucking out on the apps, and maybe I just need to like rethink mentally what is going on. I don't know. It's weird. I'm weird. It's weird. And I don't really think, like I said, I have boxes to check, but it's not like I don't think I have a type. Like my boxes are pretty generic. I just want you to be nice. I want you to be funny. I think my biggest like not type, but you know, like when you talk about like features, like what feature? Hair is always like a huge feature for me. Like if a guy has nice hair, that's 10 out of 10, can pretty much seal the deal from begin with. But like other than that, my boxes aren't crazy. I just can't find someone that I like vibe or get along with. It's also June. It's Pride Month. Not much more to say about that. Maybe I'll wander down to a Pride. par- Kentucky and Cincinnati are both doing stuff this weekend. I don't know. Maybe that's another episode to talk about that. I won't talk about it in this one. I'll keep you waiting. But maybe I head down there. Maybe it's just guys. Maybe, maybe it's just men. Who fucking knows? I don't fucking know. But I wanted to discuss that today. Let's open the conversation of why I've. If you're watching on YouTube, I don't know why I just did that weird little dive move, like something Finding Nemo. I don't know why I did that, but we'll probably figure it out eventually. And if we don't, oh, but going back to the kids thing, I yeah, again, as of right now, maybe 5 years from now, I'm like, oh man, I really want to be in a relationship. 5 years from now, maybe I really want kids. As of right now, I don't, and as of right now, I have no desire to be pregnant. Me right now thinking if I ever were to have a kid, I would love to adopt. I would love to adopt a baby, a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old. I would love to adopt a kid, bring into my home, give them a great life, and love to love them. I have no desire to have a bigger fucking stomach than I already do. I have no desire to lug extra weight around, to be hot, to be emotional. and then to push it out, hard pass, dude. Hard fucking pass, man. Mm-mm. Like I said, maybe it'll change in the future, but as of right now, that is a hard cross out. No, no way. I would much rather adopt a kid. So that's my relationship tea, my relationship drama. I will get there. We'll figure out what's wrong. My therapist is working on it on the daily. I hope. I hope I'm a main client. Oh my goodness. Anyway, you guys, like I said, 2 episodes from now is going to be a super fun and amazing special guest that I can't wait to have on. It's going to be a funny episode. I hope you all have a great, fun, safe weekend. Whatever you're doing, please be safe. And please manifest for me that by the time you hear this episode tonight at 9 o'clock, I've already received the news I was looking for, or manifest extra, extra, extra that I wake up tomorrow and receive the news. But know that no matter what, if I do have to move back home and I have to leave Kentucky, it was a good run. Um, and I won't stop the podcast. It'll be fucking tough doing it in my room at home because my parents don't know about it. So trying to figure out times to record and edit and post and make all this content as we're all in a one story home together is going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge I will accept because I won't end the podcast if I have to move home. It's just going to look a little different. Again, as always, I appreciate the support on here on any platform. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Okay, Cinderella?